Formula One heads back to Portugal for the first time since 1996. We're at the circuit of the Algarve in Portimao. Just 6 races remain then on this redesigned 2020 calendar. We're in the middle of a run which takes us to Grand Prix that either have never been on the calendar or haven't been for many years. This weekend, the Portuguese Grand Prix. Next week, a 2-day event at Imola for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. Then we take a break before Turkey rejoins for the first time since 2011. And then in late November, we're in Bahrain. A week later, on the outer course for the Sakhir Grand Prix. And the season rounds out on the 13th of December in Abu Dhabi. Lewis Hamilton leads the Drivers' Championship by 69 points after Valtteri Bottas failed to finish last weekend's Eiffel Grand Prix. He's now in a battle with Max Verstappen. In terms of the midfield teams, a podium for Daniel Ricciardo has promoted him to 4th place. The battle between him, Perez, Norris, Albon, Leclerc and Stroll and Gasly is still very much up for grabs. On the second half of the page, the battle could still include Carlos Sainz, only 2 points away from Pierre Gasly, Esteban Ocon in sort of on a midfield battle of his own, Sebastian Vettel just 17 points to his name, failing to score last time out in Eiffel as well. From Dani Kvyat and Nico Hülkenberg now on 10 points, Giovinazzi 3, Raikkonen on 2, the same as Romain Grosjean, who has finally scored points this year. No points on the board still though for Nicholas Latifi or George Russell. In terms of the Constructors' Championship, Mercedes could wrap it up this weekend if Red Bull score no points. Racing Point versus McLaren and Renault, the battle to watch for over 3rd place. Ferrari sort of on their own on 80 points. The same could be said for AlphaTauri on 67, Alfa Romeo on 5, Haas on 3 and Williams on 0.
It's the 2020 Portuguese Grand Prix, and this is the 3rd practice session here on YouTube.
Let's take a look at the Autodromo Internacional de Algarve, or to me and you, Portimao in Portugal. The first time the race has been held here for Formula One, and the first time in Portugal since 1996. Riding on board in IndyCar with James Hinchcliffe down towards turn number 1. A quick flick to the right before a longer little straight to turn 2 and turn 3. Heavy on the brakes as you begin to go uphill now. Control the wheel of the slide coming out. A blind apex to turn 4 as you run down to the very long hairpin. Turn number 5 past the hotel on your left. Downhill braking zone. Be careful not to unload the front left tyre and lock up. Run deep into the hairpin, get a good exit speed as you run up now towards the kink at turn 7. Double apex right now for turn 7 and 8. Quite similar to what we see at turn 1 and 2. Easy to have the car understeer. Uphill now towards turn number 8. It's a quick kick to the left hand side. Another blind apex before turn 10 and 11. Hard now on the brakes into double barrel corner. Drop down the hill towards turns 12 and 13 on the track. Again, it is double barreled, hard to see with a blind apex. Hug the inside line. Now you can get the power on as you drop downhill through the last corner on the track. Full throttle, full power, uphill now. The long drag, the only DRS detection zone on the track. Full power, fling the car to the right and hope for the best as you're onto the start-finish straight, long in the DRS zone and across the line to complete the lap of Portimao, or the circuit of the Algarve.
And welcome up to the commentary box for the 3rd practice session for the 2020 Portuguese Grand Prix. The session is about to start, and joining me in the commentary box will be Burch in a few moments' time. But in fact, here he is now, actually. Welcome to the commentary box, as he's just walking in now. It's been a different new one. Here's your headset for you. all ready and waiting to go. And I think we're going to have a fun day here of practice, Ian Burch, Dad, because it's been a bit of a tricky one yesterday, but coming into today, a little bit more simpler for the drivers. They've increased the track limits at turn 4 and turn 1. So some of the problems we had yesterday with lap times being deleted might go out today.
They might, but you give a driver a limit and he'll extend it.
It's going to be one of those days as we look at the beautiful city just near here. It's the Algarve of Portugal. It's the 12th round of the 2020 Formula One World Championship. And welcome along to our radio listeners as well. I hear for Portimao, the third practice session. Beautiful city just alongside this 2.891 mile circuit. The beach, 5 minutes away from the track. Not the quickest one, I know, but it's good.
Let's hope today there will be no repeat of the disgusting language from Max Verstappen yesterday. It wasn't the swearing, it was the name he said.
Yeah.
Right?
Which we can't broadcast, unfortunately, but I completely agree with you there. The name that was said is not no part in Formula One at all. But the 3 tyre compounds, soft, medium, hard. The C1 is the hard, the C2, the medium, the C3, the soft, and beautiful sunny day today. Track temperature up at 23 degrees, air temperature at 18. But we'll go back to what happened yesterday between Stroll and Verstappen. The stewards decided no further action.
Which we decided ourselves, looking at it.
It was a bit of a tricky one.
Max decided to take Christian's thoughts and say that he didn't realise he was on a second lap. They were Christian's thoughts, not his.
Max was clearly vocal in the car saying, what is he doing? He's an idiot and other things.
I think Lance is still suffering a little bit from the coronavirus after effects.
Yeah. It's only been 10 days.
He didn't look well enough.
No,
you know, we saw that he turned his head.
Yeah.
We know that at that particular point you can't see much in your mirror, but he should have had a second glance.
It should have really been a bit more of
it was
looking
practice.
around.
It was practice. I still don't understand why. You go back just 10 years.
Yeah.
Right, and there would be.
Outrage. Oh, sorry.
No, there would be.
Sorry, I just stepped on your foot there.
Yeah, I'll step on your head in a minute.
Sorry about that. Just tidying up the leaves in the box. Go on.
There would be communication between the two teams to say, look, we've got a lad that's going on a second fastest lap. He might come across your car. Just a simple little radio. Now they don't like each other. Can you turn that up a bit?
Yeah, sure. We're on about the fan here, but I completely agree with you. The fact that they would actually be...
See, that's how you get rid of Joshua.
Yeah, just make me go down. No, don't bang me head. But yeah, the teams used to be able to communicate with one another, but then they all stopped it around 2010.
It used to be just like we've got a little radio with a 12 different settings.
Well, it was there. It's not there.
It could be anywhere, Josh, in this mess that you've got this in.
Yeah, so I wish the camera would face the other way every now and then.
By the way, is that Megan's?
That's my one.
That's yours. Yeah. Any chance of it being washed up? It's been there a week.
Yeah. No, actually, that's only been there since Friday. This has been here since yesterday.
Oh, since yesterday.
The amount of reusable ones we've got.
Obviously, Joshua doesn't like to do things. He washed up once. I think it was 2008.
Yes, and my hands are still paying for it.
Yeah, he was 9 years old and he wanted to wash up, and we decided never to let him again because of the breakages.
I didn't break everything, just a couple of plates. And
but you only washed up once.
Yes, I know, that was my point being. Good morning, everybody in the group chat as well. Ribson's joining us again. Very pleased to have you with us, and everybody else watching. Get in touch on the YouTube chat below.
Morning, everyone. Everybody in Australia, good day.
Yes, it turns out that after yesterday, we're very popular in Australia.
Actually, it's let's figure it out. It's
good morning, good evening, isn't it? At this point, it's midnight, just gone midnight. If it is Australian time,
is it good morning yet? Is it past midnight? No, it's 11 o'clock.
If I try and find out, but the practice session is green.
It's 11 o'clock
soon. So yeah.
So you should be on ABC Sydney, Melbourne, or wherever, and the lady there does a great quiz, The thing is about that quiz is there's 2 parts to it, and you've got to get both parts to win. So I like listening to that.
I can find.
Well,
Yes.
practice 3 has
It's
started.
green.
It's 59:37 seconds to go.
Carlos Sainz.
And look at that.
Oh, that's traffic getting into the circuit, isn't it?
Yeah, that proves that we do have people. And what we were saying yesterday about when the aerial shot showed that there's basically like in France at Remy, what was it? Not Remy Martin. That's a cognac.
Paul Ricard.
Paul Ricard,
There you go.
owned by
Bernie Eccleston.
Bernie Eccleston.
Yep.
Bernie, you need more than one road into a racetrack. You know,
Don't think the
Might cost
Algarve got it.
might cost you a bit of money, but you're earning the money from the cocoa beans.
Yes, no longer
Coffee
in Formula 1.
beans.
The coffee cocoa beans.
If you
in
don't know,
Brazil, yeah.
Bernie's wife produces coffee in their own little farm.
I don't know if you heard that, but we now have the ability to have team radio playing in our ears, and we'll relay anything that we hear back to you. Unfortunately, it does mean that when you press the mute button, you will hear yourself cough, but be assured that it's off air. But yeah, for example, it still goes, but we're off air. No, you're on air, don't worry. Little orange
Press
light.
the button back on, please.
Now I've muted you. But then you've got to watch that as well, because I find that if you're muted, you don't realise. 58 minutes to go of the session. Then Carlos Sainz, the only car out there at the moment. As I look down, actually, Gasly, Kvyat and Magnussen have headed out.
The surprising thing about that is that it shows that it's quite warm here today.
Check temperatures at 24.
Although a certain person wanted his fleece taken out of his locker yesterday.
Is that Jonathan Wheatley?
Yeah, it would be Mr. Jonathan Wheatley. Because it went cold all of a sudden. You've got quite a few in shorts.
Yeah.
Virtually all of them in shorts. There's only a few in long trousers. And as we just saw during that pit stop, there's quite a few in short sleeves.
A few of them, yeah, which is positive.
So what is the temperature
Air
here?
temperature was at 19 degrees. Well, I can actually have a look on this monitor here.
So it's fairly nice.
Track temperature 24, air temperature 18.
Yeah, it's that's not bad,
It's not bad
for
at all,
this
is
time
it?
of
Yeah.
year.
Well,
I'll tell you what, I've just walked in here and it's a lot colder here.
it is a lot colder here. In fact, I can tell you what
And
the
it's
degrees is
slightly-
here.
It looks like it's going to get slightly damp as well.
Here in the UK, it's 11 degrees, but we're in a low of 8, thanks to the
The
Apple Watch
problem
there.
with practice 3...
There you go.
Mm.
The problem with practice 3 is...
The problem with practice 3 is that it's a slow start every week. It's only an hour. And the thing is, unless there's some kind of problem, they don't tend to go out in the first 10 minutes.
Some breaking news just coming through here from Toby Gunnar, who's the German TV reporter for RTL. Helmut Marko just told at Sky Peter H that he expects Alex Albon to reduce the gap to Verstappen further. Marko is not too happy with yesterday's performance. He gets confused too easily if the car is not behaving the way he likes it. That's quite aggressive from Helmut Marko.
Which
Well,
is what he's basically saying is that on certain tracks, Alex is brilliant, and on others, he's not. This track is new to virtually everybody.
That was just
Yeah, we're just getting something through our headphones.
some radio.
Yeah, Alex.
It's coming from Gasly. Just
Alex is
go on.
capable on certain tracks of a top 5 finish.
Yeah.
On other tracks, he's capable of a top 15. And what Dr. Marko
Yes.
is trying to say is get better, son.
Yeah, absolutely. Get
because,
better quick. Yeah.
You know, this is like a nice little warning, right?
Nice little
Next
tap
time
on the shoulder. Yeah.
Next time it will be in the center on one of the chairs, and people will see that I am not very happy with you, which is Dr. Marko's way.
Yeah, we all remember the Drive to Survive last year, where Christian Horner and Helmut Marko were
Dr.
basically
Marko is from
slagging off Gasly. Go on, back to you.
Dr. Marko is from a generation of drivers who had it a lot harder than this lot.
Best friends with Jochen Rindt, of course.
Jochen Rindt, yeah. They went to school together.
They did, yeah. He was there at
and
the track.
and also Dr. Marko lost his eye in a crash, and I think it was during practice.
Yes, it was during a practice session.
Yeah.
I can't remember for what, though, because I don't think it was Formula 1. I think
So
it was
he's a bit tougher. He comes
Yes.
from a tougher generation than these.
Albon was just on the radio
all
there.
these drivers have dedication.
Yeah.
Some have a lack of fear, which is, as Danny Ricciardo said, is dangerous, right? Danny Ricciardo famously said he got on well with Max Verstappen, but Max Verstappen has no fear, and no fear often leads to an accident.
And what happened yesterday, the accident coming out of turn 14, as I said, we went back and looked at it. It all started round about turn 13, where Stroll cut him off because Stroll was on a fast lap. But then
Lewis said it. Lewis put it more diplomatically. It's
did he?
Experience and diplomacy. Is what he means. But it's basically you have all of a sudden a realization that these cars are dangerous and that you must not put other people in danger. But having said that,
Albon's just on the radio.
Having said that, one of the things is that you've got to get a balance between that, because we don't want to stifle them and stifle their talent. But we want everybody to be safe, and there's been certain moves. I mean, Alex Albon still isn't getting the blame for the Lewis Hamilton incident. But I've seen it a few times, and if Alex had the experience of, say, some of the others,
he wouldn't
with 200 races in hand, that he wouldn't have tried that, because he knew he would have calculated the dangers
and backed off completely.
And that's what didn't happen yesterday. Neither of them have got 200 races under the belt, have they?
No, neither of them. I'm trying to think. I think Verstappen's only just clicked over 100, and I think Stroll's 70 odd.
Two very nice but privileged young men who don't like giving way to anybody.
No criticism either. They can't seem to take criticism.
Basically, Stroll is very laid back, and so is Max.
Yeah.
Right, but when they get on a racing track, they don't seem to have the fear or awareness of what they can do to other people on the track.
It's a very... Oh, there's fans in the hotel paddock right on the outside of the circuit.
If you want an example of that, how you get to mature, I'll give you two. The first one is Felipe Massa.
Oh, yeah.
Right? In his first 50 races, he must have been seen as the crash king, the most dangerous driver on the circuit.
His first ever race in Australia, multi-car pilot.
And then, after about 4 years, he's one of the safest. Right?
It was when he joined Ferrari.
Some people never lose that instinct that gets them into dangerous situations. Sebastian Vettel.
Vettel keeps spinning off. I mean, look at last time as well. Didn't Vettel spin twice?
There seems to be something that links all the ones that don't seem to learn that much about that. And that is, they're all very laid back outside the track.
Yeah. It seems to be that type of situation. And Vettel's very laid back up the track. Raikkonen, we barely know anything about him. He just stays completely out of the way. I mean, it was only yesterday we discovered that he actually... Well, I found out a couple of weeks ago, but I told you. I thought that was just a replay of the same thing happening again.
Raikkonen and Sebastian Vettel are very much family-orientated and see this as a job, whereas quite a few of the youngsters see this as their whole life.
Which is okay, but the youngsters as Lewis Hamilton said, he's now thinking about starting a family, settling down. That's Bottas on the radio, just coming through our ears.
I like the young man you've just seen. I like the way Gasly operates both inside and outside the track.
Yeah.
He's missed the middleman, isn't he?
He is, incredibly, yeah. Bottas is just coming across the line. Gasly...
Bottas is the other one I was going to use as an example.
He settled down.
Bottas, when he was at Williams, was like Kiki Rosberg.
Yeah.
Bottas is behind us. Watch the next corner because he's coming through me if he can't get past me.
Exactly. Bottas came straight from GP3 to F1.
Bottas isn't like that now. He makes a calculated guess, and his instincts are often correct.
I think 2022 could be the year of Bottas in a new generation of cars. It'll suit him well. But I think we really saw Valtteri finally stand up to Lewis. And it was last time out at the Nürburgring, the start of the race. Hamilton had the inside line to turn one. forced Bottas off the track. But Bottas then said, no, thank you very much, cut back and swung around the outside into turn 3.
Valtteri says that the difference between the two of them now is basically the experience Lewis has.
Yeah. 7-time champion nearly.
Nearly every situation that comes up, he has actually seen it before and has an inkling of what to do, whereas Valtteri tends to think about it more, which is good because he's learning off one of the masters. You know, Damon Hill, he comes from, his father was a world champion and things like that. But he admits that it's his time with people like Senna that really got him to where he was.
Yeah.
The advice of the older generation or the most talented around you.
He was very lucky, wasn't he, Damon, in '94? Because after, of course, Senna tragically died as well. But he had Senna, and then after he had to take over the team. But as you said, Nigel Mansell came back for a couple of races, but really helped him show how to lead a team.
The relationship that both of them have with Murray Walker, enabled them two to become very, very close. Nigel calls him his brother.
Yeah,
and there were foreign journalists in the paddock who honestly thought that Damon was Nigel's brother.
Yeah.
For a long, long time.
Well, Nigel and Murray were very close.
And they all thought that both of them were actually really related to Murray. But it was the kindness of Murray after his dad died.
Yeah.
And Murray and Nigel always went to Murray for advice of how to handle situations and things like that.
Murray was like
still very, very close.
They still are, yeah.
All three of them. There was a nice little interview about 4 or 5 years ago between the three of them where they explained all this. And it's unusual in Formula One that you don't have little cliques of people, but it's unusual for them to last a lifetime. Right? So Jackie Stewart is another one, and Alan Prost. Alan Prost, if you don't know, is the man guiding Mr. Gasly.
Yeah, right now.
Right? He has Gasly on speed dial, and Gasly has him on speed dial.
It's why I think Gasly would go well at Renault.
Yeah.
Because then he'd have constant Alan Prost.
Yeah, Alan Prost,
that's just Bottas on the radio, and now he is.
Yeah, there's a balance problem with
Bottas's
car.
Well, we saw that. He was undulating like mad down the front straightaway, bumping quite a lot.
Well, yeah, as we said yesterday, this circuit is actually not really a track for four-wheel drive, four-wheeled cars. It was designed and meant for small racing cars and motorbikes.
Yeah,
mainly motorbikes.
Formula One coming here is a bit of a shot at the
Got to admit, I didn't until the last week. I didn't know anything about this track.
You must. I must. We have seen it before in the GP2 category. You must have just forgotten about it. I remember this race quite well. It was the big.
I do like the central building there. That provides, because it's on a
top of the hill.
Top of the hill, and you've got both sides of the track, and the people watching from that, which are obviously corporate or something like that.
Norris saying that the passing was much better on that lap. So Bottas is looking good.
Yeah, he said the pass was much better, so he's obviously getting used to the. One of the problems with this circuit is the hills.
Yeah.
It's like our own Cadwell. The speed, as you build up the speed, you build up the downforce.
Yeah.
Then when you get to the bottom of the hill, the downforce changes, and all of a sudden like yesterday, we thought that the accident yesterday had something to do with that.
Because we saw Stroll bottoming him out.
He bottomed out, which affects your downforce and affects your your rear braking capacity.
And it lifts the front
He
wheel
did
up
actually.
as well,
If you look at it in slow motion, there was a lock-up, but it was on the front right.
So it didn't look like it would be any part of that. 124 lap times were deleted yesterday in practice 1 and 2 due to the driver's track limits.
Which
Albon
was
has
too
tried
much.
15. Yeah, Albon has tried 15 laps cancelled. You're seeing the track at the moment on the split-screen vision up here in the commentary box. You can have a look around the circuit here, as we were talking about. It's an abrasive track. And so, as you say, it's very roller coaster.
For those people who were worried about Lewis yesterday, Lewis was spending the day getting used to the track. He doesn't do a track walk. He doesn't do anything like that. He talks it through with his engineer, and basically, him and Bono look back on his what he does in practice 1 and see where they can work out things rather than walk the track. And
it's over it now because look at this. Hamilton was at 1:16.9. He's already 6 tenths ahead of Bottas.
Yeah, which is what we were saying yesterday. That's what we expect from the top 4.
It seemed very impressive at the moment.
And at the moment, we've got Leclerc, Bottas, and Hamilton from doing well.
I think Ferrari looking quite good.
The surprise there is Kvyat. He's done a 1:18.501.
Oh, so we've just been told by Ocon's team on Ocon's team radio that there's a slippery surface down at turn 8. There may be gravel on the track.
Lando and Danny Ricciardo come next, and they're in the 1:18s as well. Which yesterday we were struggling to get anybody
Massively
into
struggling,
less than 1:20, 1:19.
Especially at this time of the morning, which was free practice 1's time, so that already the track is a lot hotter. And the cars are sort of
I
ready,
hope that's an
aren't
outlap for Nick Latifi.
Where is he? 1:30. Yeah, definitely an outlap. No, let's see what time.
Otherwise, he's got a problem he's trying to deal with.
3-lap odd mediums. Yeah, I think that was an outlap. Looking for him. 3-lap old tyres as well.
In this hour, you're expected to do about 20 laps.
Yeah. Unless they want to. Well, new engine, of course, for Gasly, and he was out early on, so he's going to be putting an awful lot more mileage on to get that car up to speed.
Practice
for the race.
1, you practice getting used to the track. Practice 2, you practice for the race. And
so that was Gasly being told to charge the battery. There we go. That works better.
Then we have a situation where everybody gets together in the team, both drivers, the reserve driver, and have a debrief. And then the debrief, you decide with your engineer and the others to iron out all the little problems. And practice 3 is your practice for qualifying.
And Latifi went off the track there, the hairpin at the exit turn 5. That is a brilliant lap from Leclerc. 1:17.410, 4 tenths off the pace, but going well ahead of Hamilton.
We've got virtually everybody out on the track now. And Hamilton is actually coming up to a load of back markers. And Latifi is behind him. Really, Vettel's in the prime position there.
He's got his own track, hasn't he?
He's got nothing in front of him till Bottas, who is at the back of the other queue.
Yeah, he's at turn 4.
A quarter of a lap away.
Leclerc is complaining about a lot of heat on his ribs on his left-hand side. Now, what could that be about? We're just hearing the radio in our ears. Now, what could that be about?
Are you sure that was him?
Yeah, he came up as... It said it was Latifi on the radio. So Latifi came up saying...
I thought it was Latifi.
Yeah, burning on the left-hand side.
You said Leclerc.
Did I say Leclerc? Sorry, I meant Latifi. Burning on the left-hand side going forward. You weren't muted, don't worry.
I was muted.
Yes, burning on the left-hand side of his ribs. Something burning him. Well, let's have a look. See what that is on the side of the car. That would be the radio switch. That's where the radio is usually located. Yeah,
but that's the radiator.
Oh, yeah, the KERS battery side, yeah.
And the KERS battery. It might need a bit of tape, a bit of gaffer tape over some hole.
Yeah, that's burned through the monocoque, maybe.
Yeah.
We'll have to take a look at that. But I don't think he's coming to the pitch just yet.
The KERS system has produced a situation where most of them have a very warm bottom.
This is Sainz's radio saying that, what did he say? It's much cooler today, less wind.
Yeah.
Balance was a lot better.
If you go back to this time last year, Lewis was getting out with his white overalls with the overalls burnt on the backside.
I remember that. I don't know. I don't even know why.
How he didn't feel uncomfortable.
I know.
Going, Nico always used to complain about it as well.
I think the black overalls look a lot better when you get out of the car and you can't see any of the burn marks that's on the side. But I think next year they're planning on having a silver livery with black stars, a bit similar to what we saw a couple of years ago. So that could be interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're doing yet. It might be black car, silver stars like we've got now, but it's going to be a new livery for sure.
Earlier on this season, at the start of the season, the sensors were getting too hot.
Yeah.
And then they paint the car black. It does not. I know why they painted the car black, but
must have helped. It must have helped things as well. I mean, was it for the practice? Well, we didn't have any. Oh, we got a yellow flag out on the track.
You see,
to the monitor. What's this about?
You see, what you got is a situation.
Leclerc spun. Sorry, Leclerc spun at turn 14, same place he did yesterday.
Joshua has been at work in here because he has. We have a lot of silver reflective special soundproofing on behind the monitors, and he has extended them the whole way so that they're behind the light. Joshua doing work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Believe it or not.
Believe it or not. Still haven't put a bush round though, have you?
Well, the problem is we just get loads of leaves blowing.
My sunglasses is still down there.
I know. I'll pick them up.
What is that behind them on the left to it?
Battery case.
Battery case.
Yes.
We'll let you off that. Then.
The old things that just fall
old
off.
batteries all over the place.
Yeah, they were off the voice recorder. Yeah, there's loads of stuff. We'll come back on as well.
Time sheets from the 24-hour race. When was that?
September.
September. What was the month now?
I think it's nearly November. It's October. This is the second. This is Charles Leclerc. That's almost an identical spin to what he had yesterday, and he's in the gravel again. Turn 14 downhill, turns in. Oh, he kept it out of the gravel today. But Leclerc on the penalty loop for the MotoGP lot. That's not good. That was down at turn 14. Could do better. This is Sebastian Vettel.
Isn't it true that we've got a gravel track with where they've laid a tarmac around the edge on purpose?
Yes.
Because of the fact that they don't feel that there's any way out of that track, even if you go all the way.
Yeah, so they just put gravel over the tarmac. Yeah,
they put some tarmac.
That's at the bottom of the track as well. Leclerc's flat spotted his. I said it again. Latifi, I think that was flat spotting his tires. Yes.
We had a situation.
Oh no, it was Leclerc. It was Leclerc.
We had a situation yesterday with a lot of them having these Pirelli. I think all of them had.
All of them had the Pirelli problems. Yeah.
Of the new Pirelli tyres. That didn't help with the thing for today.
No, track's different.
Why can't we have Pirelli borrowing cars like they did 2 years ago?
I know. I think it must be because of COVID. They've had to cancel the tests.
Yeah,
it must have been
because you used to have a situation where years and years ago, where one of the up and coming young drivers would get an awful lot of work in a Formula One car because he would be the Pirelli test driver.
Well, but they bought the old Toyota, didn't they? The Toyota that should have been 2010.
You know, the power of these cars, getting used to them. That's what most of the rookies say. And if you can put a few of them in,
Gasly's team happy with the balance, and Gasly's happy with the car as well. And he's saying, "Very good job."
Russell getting a toe off Stroll.
As well, be careful not to make an accident. But Russell's gone to 13th, and he's just dropped down because Giovinazzi got to 12th. But
George is fighting for his racing life here.
I don't see why he needs to worry.
These new people might have the money to buy that contract out.
Yeah,
and that's what George is worried about. Or it just most of these drivers, he could be the third driver. Just find himself being the third driver. Most of these drivers on the lower league actually bring money.
The problem is, though, Russell is more talented than Latifi. Latifi's a paid driver. Why do we need Latifi there? Latifi hasn't really performed this year, if we're honest. He's
getting closer to George.
He's had a couple, yeah.
And he is improved in a bad car.
Definitely. Sainz on the radio. Just listening to it.
Was that Carlos?
Yeah, that was Carlos Sainz, and the steward's telling me he's on the limits.
You can't hear it, but we've got the radio going off. It's like that's IndyCar for you.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
IndyCar, you have the radio going off on your headphones all the time.
Yeah.
All the spotters, you hear all the spotters, what they're
Oh, it's
telling
fantastic to watch the race.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I haven't been able to do that this year, but now that we've got this new equipment, I can.
There's a great piece of film that Sky produced of what goes on into Crofty's ears
Oh God, yeah.
and the others,
Yeah.
you know, during the race, and they've literally got spotters themselves
Yeah.
in every part of the track, all speaking at the same time.
And you've got to try and take it in. Like there's someone talking in our ears now. I'm not
And
sure.
you've got to do
Yeah.
this. Is people were having a
Albon.
go at Crofty recently, but if he's got that much going on in his ears,
Yeah.
it's a wonder he can actually think and as fast as he does.
And the problem is because usually Sky are in the commentary box, which has a view of the start, finish straight, and all of the pit lane. But this year they've got no one. They can't get Ted in the pit lane, and they've got commentary boxes in the paddock with no windows, so they're limited in what they can see. So that's why they've got somebody watching the pit lane of both Mercedes and Ferrari, and then further down back in the UK, talking to them.
Crofty also had to adapt when he came to Sky because of the fact that he'd spent 3 or 4 years with Jonathan as the commentator on BBC Radio 5 Live, where you actually have to describe everything that's happening.
Bit like what we're having to do with the watch along, but hopefully, I think we got it down just about right.
And Jonathan then went off to football.
Yeah. Oh, Jonathan Ledyard.
He's not very good as a football commentator, I don't think.
Wasn't very good as a Formula 1 commentator, to be honest. Problems there, left, right, and centre.
You know,
To be honest with you, I still say the best pairing was either Martin Brundle and Murray Walker, or Martin Brundle and David Coulthard. I think without Murray, Martin and David Coulthard.
The
would
most
be amazing.
exciting, dear boy, was
Murray and James. Yeah.
James.
If time wasn't a factor.
Hello, Murray. I've got to disagree with you there. That's a load of yes, because I can't get
Charles. Yeah, I can't get James
James
just down. Yeah.
James.
There you go. That was closer.
That's closer.
Verstappen is on a lap as well. He's up in the middle sector, fast overall in the first of a 22.150. Yeah, but if time isn't a factor, the best pairing would definitely be a combination of Murray, Martin, and James Hunt.
Murray tells the story about the fact that he arrived late and was slightly inebriated,
Silverstone, wasn't it? Yeah.
And only slightly, because James was always slightly.
He was always.
And that he did the first half of the race laid on the floor.
He's
looking up
leg,
at the monitor. Because what they used to do was they used to stand side by side, and then like Martin did with Murray as well. Murray, one of them would have. Well, both of them used to put their hand on Murray's shoulder, on the left shoulder, as if they've got their arm around him. And then if they wanted to speak, they would just tap.
Yeah. And then
Murray would stop talking.
Eventually.
And then let them speak. And that worked brilliantly.
It did, yeah. And I'll tell them so.
Martin is amazing at being...
Norris was just... compromised Grosjean on the lap, and Norris saying to McLaren, "You need to tell me earlier."
You do feel that Martin is a great link commentator, but not a lead commentator. He's done a few leads, and I don't like them.
We did the commentary over them. Really.
He's got competition anyway.
Yeah. Hello.
Right?
Yeah. Double
Whereas you've
yellow.
got competition from me, right? Your dad, right? He's got competition from Alex, his son.
Yes, Alex Brundle.
Alex is doing more and more work in television and less driving.
I think he's actually commentating on this session now on the F1 TV app. Yeah. With Alex Jakes at the moment. So yeah. But there's a lot of ways to watch Formula 1 these
Alex
days.
Blundell is turning into quite a knowledgeable commentator because he's got the experience of the driving as well. It doesn't always work that way.
Doesn't. Sometimes sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. For instance,
it's like in football. Sometimes you get
I don't think
some of the best managers have actually played the game.
Yes, yeah. Some of them didn't
in football.
I think the best manager who's currently played the game would have to be Lampard. He's doing quite well.
Yeah,
but just also as we just see Russell, I
Jurgen
think's locking
Klopp.
up. That's a good one. Russell's, I think, locked up. Double lock up at the turn 5 hairpin.
And just say the Manchester City fans are okay. Pep. I think clock.
Russell's coming in this lap. Yeah,
I'm not absolutely sure, but I think Pep and Jurgen used to be in the same team.
Good, babe. Let us know in the comments if you know that one. I think
I think they were in the same team.
But yeah, just to quickly go back to the James Hunt Murray Walker situation, it wasn't always the best commentary pairing because Murray tells the story of one time when Murray was talking, James wanted the microphone, and then decided that because they used to share a lip mic because they thought it was best that they didn't have two because they'd already be talking over each other. And Bottas is aborting his lap time. But, we've got a mysterious case here of Albon compromising the front there of Grosjean and now coming to block off Verstappen into the hairpin. And Verstappen's having to go to the inside. Albon can't really get out of the way. That's compromised Verstappen's lap time. Yeah, just go back to Murray Walker quickly. So Murray had the microphone. So James pulls on the cord and Murray's hand drops as the mic drops out. James picks it up and starts talking. And Murray brings his fist back to punch James. And he looks over to the back of the box with the producer just wagging his finger so he didn't punch him. But Murray always says that was the moment that the friendship was sort of kept.
Sealed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was always fun.
But when James died, Murray, like he did when Damon's father died, he helped out as much as he could.
Well, Murray said when Murray was actually at an event because they'd finished commentating on Canada, and then Murray went off to another event in London on the Tuesday, and Murray got a phone call from his wife Elizabeth, and she just said James is dead, and he went, James? Who's James? Because he didn't. He never thought it was James Hunt. Yeah, and then as soon as she said it's James Hunt, he's died, and Murray just bawled out crying.
I'm not surprised because he was very close to him.
Jonathan Palmer took over the next race, and then after that it was Martin.
Jonathan Palmer, who owns half the racetracks in this country,
more than half,
including Donington and Brands Hatch.
Donington, Brands, Cadwell, Snetterton.
And that's
this
where I
weekend.
was going to say that's where
this weekend,
BTCC are this weekend.
Snetterton, which is transformed and could be if Silverstone couldn't host the Formula One the race, I think Snetterton would go to host the race because it's got the biggest layout of all of them. But Snetterton was the first one brought, as Albon's just being told that he's actually been doing quite well at the moment.
His expertise as being a racing driver himself and that.
Yeah.
All his tracks have really had a lot of money spent on them and are really nice. BTCC are lucky that they have that. I mean, everybody thinks of British touring cars as going around these small little tracks, but at least 4 of the tracks are ex-Formula One type tracks.
Silverstone, Brands, Donington, Silverstone, Brands, Donington.
There's another one as well. From years ago. I can't remember what it is, but when they were there, they were saying that
Rockingham was there.
Yeah, Rockingham was an IndyCar track.
Yeah, Rockingham was
built as an IndyCar. It's near Kettering.
Yeah,
and it's built as an IndyCar track. And do you know what it does? What they do there now?
What?
Park up hire cars on it.
Oh, for
it's horrible,
God's
isn't
sake.
it?
I loved Rockingham. Every time we go to Rockingham,
they couldn't get the people through the gates.
It's a big stand.
It was like Darlington FC, the football team, who built a 25,000 seat stadium and only had an average gate of 5,000.
Looks very empty.
It lacked, they cost a fortune to maintain, and they went out of business.
It's why you always say put 5,000 fans in a few stadiums. It looks like a massive packed out game. Put them in Wembley. It doesn't look as big. I mean, I think Tottenham had that problem.
People are playing in empty stadiums now. Now the team, the Scottish Second Division side, Queen's Park, have had that for most of their career because Queen's Park, until recent years, was owned by owned the ground.
Yes,
at Hampden Park, where the national team play.
And
they got gates of 1,500 to 2,000 in a stadium that held about 80 to 100,000 people.
Not good.
No atmosphere whatsoever, but they were used to it because of the fact that that's how it had always been. Queen's Park, I think, have left Hampden. I'm not sure about that, if anyone knows that. I think they've got their own little ground.
Which one became Sports Direct Arena? And nobody liked the name change.
Sport? No, I know that.
Yeah, it was a famous football ground name, and it changed to Sports
Newcastle.
Direct. It's Newcastle. That's it. Yeah, Newcastle's
Because
changed.
they're owned by that guy Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a love-hate relationship with him.
I can't see why.
They love his money and hate him.
Yeah, it's a bit. Well, we had that
'Cause he
situation a
is-
couple of years ago.
Well, Hull have they were rescued by Dr. Alam and his two sons, and everybody, they really did rescue the team at the 11 o'clock deadline, 1 minute two.
Oh yeah, they sold it for a quid, wasn't it? Yeah.
They sold it to the Alams for a quid.
Yeah.
Who that day paid off £16 million worth of debt, and gave the manager £12 million to things.
Yellow's out, and it's Hamilton going slow. So is this Hamilton going off the track?
And that got Hull up into the Premiership, and
dropped down, of course, unfortunately.
They've dropped down because basically the Alams now want their money back and have been siphoning it back.
Yeah,
legally. It's
legally,
to other.
No idea he went off the track there.
But they do lack investment. What they're doing quite well this year because they found their level, which was with when you've got talented kids and first division players, you end up playing quite well in the first division.
Hamilton's gone off the track. I thought the yellow flag came out and we saw him going off, but Hamilton's actually been off into the gravel track because there's dust on his tyres. So Bottas has just gone top at 1:16.654. Gasly's been... Okay, so this is what happened to Lewis. Coming into turn 9 and 10, uphill, and he's just lost the rear and into the gravel. That's a simple off.
I mean, our Premiership teams in Yorkshire and Humber, and we're actually classed by a lot of people as being in the northeast. And so we used to have Newcastle down here in Sunderland on Bank Holiday Mondays and on Christmas. Boxing Day matches was often Newcastle. And
very different
like
this year in their
and
Boxing Day matches.
that was great and things like that. And locally, absolutely locally, it was good having Hull up in the Premiership because you've got these top class sides like Manchester United coming.
Yeah.
In. Our nearest club that is in the Premiership at the moment is Sheffield United, and then beyond that is Leeds, and we had Norwich the other way.
Yes, we did. Norwich is just down there. Leeds there in the middle.
Difference is motorway to Leeds and West Yorkshire and South Yorkshire. No motorway to Norwich. Takes you an hour and a quarter to get to Leeds. Same distance the other way. Norwich takes you 3.5 hours.
It's a big long.
You really
journey.
need a motorway down that east coast.
Trains are easier, but
The nearest one we've got is the A1M,
Yeah.
and you have to go get into. Anybody from the East Anglia has to get to Peterborough to collect that.
Just having a quick.
But then you're
Get
literally an hour away there. I mean, our lot live in Nottingham, and
Lockdown now.
And unfortunately,
Are they
I've
actually
been talking
locked
to
down?
Kellyanne.
Is she locked down?
Your mum's been doing the family history with Kellyanne.
Oh, that must have been a joy. So she's definitely locked down there if she's doing that. I know she might be watching. Hello, Kellyanne. And Jack. Hello, everybody.
Yes, Jack. Hope your finger gets better. It started bleeding again yesterday. So you need to redressing.
That popped into my head. Yes, cut his finger carving a pumpkin.
Yep.
Melon. Not nice.
Has to use a computer for his job. That must have been difficult this week.
Good point. Well, he might be able to use that dictation stuff like I do.
Yeah.
It's very easy. If we had a complete transcript, if I set the laptop to do a complete transcription of this commentary, reading it back would take ages.
What would we need it for, other than
referencing,
showing people how better I am at it than you?
Oh my god! Well, they can see that on the camera.
Oh, don't pull yourself down.
Hey,
you
wait until we get to qualifying in about 2 hours' time.
So, welcome to qualifying. It's Joshua's.
Yeah, I'm gonna be good.
Yeah,
It's gonna be. I'm looking forward to qualifying. Well,
why?
Qualifying around this track is going to be interesting, especially at turn 1.
I predict, right, not one, but 2 of the top 10 drivers won't make it out of Q1.
Could be interesting.
Because there's some of them really struggling with this track.
I think
They've been better today.
Renault aren't looking good, and Vettel's stuck in 11th.
No. Ricciardo's doing well for Renault.
Ocon's ahead of him at the moment. But
Ocon
Ricciardo was up there. Yeah.
But you're right. They weren't doing anything. Things.
Do we know if Beatball's
can
got
we
his
still say that Vettel is a top 10 driver?
I'm not sure. Leclerc's been proving Vettel.
I will be surprised, pleasantly surprised, if
Yeah.
Vettel gets out of there. Right? And I honestly think that it's at least one of the pink Mercedes won't get out of Q1. Because I don't feel Stroll is fit enough.
Stroll's 16th at the moment, and that would be very embarrassing. Hulkenberg is on standby.
So I'm not basing this just on guesswork. I am basing this on what I'm reading in front of me and what I saw yesterday. I think Vettel and Stroll will struggle to get out of Q1, and I don't think they'll get out of Q2, and I think they'll be bound about 14th to 20th on the grid.
I agree. That could be something interesting. Hamilton's having a front wing change. Race control. Oh, that time deleted from Lando Norris at the moment. So that time's not improving. As I was saying, I think
that can literally happen to anybody, and that could cause a problem in qualifying as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm about. Turn 1 and 4. That's going to be the talking points of the afternoon. And we've got. I'm going to have loads of papers in front of me as well. I'm in the files flicking through.
What usual ones? The Sun, Daily Mail.
No. I thought I might go for the Times today.
Oh, I forgot.
Just go over.
Do you know, I used to get the Times. I used to get the Times every Saturday, right? And it used to take you a week to read through it.
It's annoying.
Anybody who says they read the Times from front to back, and all the little magazines, they don't. They just flick through it, see what they're like. Oh, that's different.
Yeah.
I'll read about that. Oh, I was looking for that. Right.
There's a reason they tear it off and say they'll read it at bedtime.
I used to read it because it gives. Whereas its sister paper, The Sun, will give you
page 3
a synopsis of a story.
Yeah.
They will go into detail and explain why
Yeah.
they feel like they do about it and what let you make up your own mind.
Page 3 gives you a Happy Meal, whereas the Times...
Do they?
There you go. Whereas the Times...
I can't remember one of them called McDonald's.
Whereas the Times...
There must have been one.
Whereas the Times gives you a Sunday dinner. There you go. There you go. I just thought that on the top of the head.
The thing about Happy Meals and McDonald's is that we've mentioned them twice now. So you know our address, McDonald's.
Yeah, you deliver enough.
We do have 6 McDonald's in the area, so...
You're making me hungry now. I only literally had 2 pancakes for breakfast because there's nothing else. Sides off the track again. Yeah, there's been a few stocking up just in case we go into lockdown of little Christmas stuff and bonfire night and all that lot. But they have somehow forgot that they've brought things for Christmas, but I had no breakfast. That literally nothing at all of my breakfast was there. I was like, oh my God. Because I can't eat the cereal because it'll damage my stomach up too much. And I couldn't eat anything like that. I can't eat cornflakes.
4 different cereals.
Yes, but muesli's mother's. Cornflakes, I think, are yours. I can't eat cornflakes. Can only usually eat Rice Krispies and there's none left.
You could have one of my Weetabix.
I didn't know we had Weetabix.
Of course we have. I have Weetabix every so often.
Well, that really
I used to have it every day.
Well, nobody told me of Weetabix. That was good. But I tell you what, though, we've got 60 minutes left, and I know one person's watching.
Those Italian biscuits, put them in a nice bit of milk, heat them up a bit.
Oh, have you had some of those yet? They're
no,
good.
because they basically taste like... one of the things they taste like is Farley's rusk.
Yeah, they are very nice. I'm enjoying them. Kelly-Ann bought those back from Tuscany when she was at the Tuscan Grand Prix, but she wasn't actually there for the Tuscan Grand Prix. That was a bit weird. But yeah, Megan yesterday, for those of you who are wondering where she is, she's in prison because she tried to attack me yesterday.
Oh, get off.
Only jokingly.
Get off.
Yeah,
as the non-elected chairman of the Millwall Supporters Junior section,
she did a bloody good job.
She has to practice her moves. She often she's kickboxing in her bedroom.
Yeah, she is.
Which she's only got a tiny bedroom, by the way.
It's
Every
amazing.
so often you hear something fall
bang, yeah.
because she's kicked it off.
Little smash.
Right?
Now,
she comes across as so sweet and that, and there's a cruel side to her. And what she did last night was. Joshua was laid on the bed.
Yeah, I was reading through Instagram with his face down. Megan came into the back of the room
and managed to get
his
sciatic nerve.
Yeah, she just put. She was. She put her
managed
hand
to
on
do
my
that.
back. She put her hand on my back in the middle of the vertebrae and just lightly pressed something, but my entire back went ow, and it just the left hand
Really?
side was paralysed.
You should have screamed. I didn't hear you.
Oh, I think there was a bit more of screaming going on when I had to turn over. It was not nice. So yeah, if it's better
The
now.
basic thing is she didn't do it on purpose.
No, she didn't. But no, that. So if you wonder where
She
Megan
says.
is, yeah, if you wonder where Megan is,
Well,
not
she
here.
says if you don't treat her right, she will do it again.
Yes, she's negotiated not to do Imola by torture. Nah, she's alright. But yeah, that's why I'm a bit not great mobile today.
I tell you, she is doing Imola.
She is doing Imola, I can tell you that
She
now.
might even be doing tomorrow's race if I have my way.
Well, you have to tell her about that one.
Well, she's got a Christmas list, and
Ricardo saying he just wants the DRS, but they can't open it because they're on a race run. That's interesting, not a qualifying run.
how are you lot doing on your? Was it 8 months of lockdowns and non-lockdowns?
Oh, yes.
What was that?
I have no idea what that was. I heard that as well, like a vibration.
Did we have a small earthquake? We had one on Thursday.
No idea.
I'm not sure.
That was a weird. I heard that vibration as well. Could be over the radio.
Could be
if-
Megan trying to get in.
She's banging on the door. Let me in. She's just going to start chopping the door down and say, "Here's Meggie."
I came down to her last night, and after she'd done what she did to you, and I said to her, "The police have arrived."
Yes. Yeah. Well, I forgot also that that we had hot water bottles. I had to go lay in a hot.
And we
bath.
have hot water thanks to the engineer that mended the heating
Yeah, that
system
was.
last week.
God, could you imagine if we didn't? And that happened last week.
Yeah.
I would have been in a lot of pain and a lot more stiffer today with my back, but luckily it's okay. Yeah, just add that to the list of. What was
Doesn't he
it?
go on?
No, add it to the list of what was it? Nearly broken nose, broken rib, hemothorax, and now muscle problems, kidney. Yeah, just stay away. At least Kellyanne only ever put bleach in David's eyes. There
we
it
go
is.
again. It's
Ricardo's radio.
It's Ricardo's radio.
Yeah, something.
No earthquake.
Yeah,
People, get out from under the desks.
it was something from. It's something over the radio from Ricardo. I
Yeah,
think
your
it must
mum
be
was
touching
saying
the
that
curbs.
we between Market Raisin and Lincoln, we on Thursday or Wednesday there was a slight air tremor. Remember, go back a few years, we've had two that rattled everything.
Crack the garage. Back of this commentary box, there's a big
No,
crack in
it
it.
didn't. We always thought that.
Oh,
but
didn't
I
it?
looked at it. Do you know what it was?
What is it?
It's the water that ran off the window,
Really?
finding its way down the brickwork. Yeah.
Oh, so it's not actually a crack.
No, it's not a crack.
I thought it was a crack.
No,
wow.
it's not.
Oh, okay.
No, it's perfectly safe.
Didn't know that. Just looking around, making sure nothing falls.
We
on
had the
us.
roof done as well.
Yeah, the roof's done.
since then.
I don't know why they've left the.
Yeah, it
the
just needs
poles.
pointing.
I don't know why they left the metal poles there. There's no need for them.
Why do they need to take them down? We could paint them and use them. You could hang a backdrop from there.
You mean like that?
Yeah.
But the flags alongside us. 12 minutes to go of this third practice session for the Portuguese Grand Prix. Nothing's happening. They're all just doing race runs, and now Ricardo's DRS isn't working according to the radio, so he's coming to the pit lane to see what they can do. They might have to change the rear wing and repair it all.
When they did actually do the roof, you know the electric lead to the box to the box behind there.
Oh, yeah.
That needs replacing. We actually use a different method to get electricity into here.
Yeah.
But it's still got bit of the old roof on it. Look up there.
Whereabouts? Oh, yeah.
Bit of the old roof. Still around the cable.
I never noticed that.
No. And it's held up by a bit of string.
I never noticed that was there. Oh, that needs to come down. Yeah, we use a different method to get power into here.
When we had the old garage door.
Big green thing. You remember. You were watching last year.
We had a pink carpet up there.
Yes, to block out the sound. Because there was a massive hole in the door. And it got incredibly colder in here. Luckily, this at the moment it's all good. It looks like a proper box at the moment now.
No, we got a heater now.
Heat at the bottom, yeah. If you're wondering why our commentaries always look so very dark and why we have so many lights projected at us, it's because there's
The lights
actually
are
no
broke.
lights. Yeah, there's no lights in here. They need
If the strip light was replaced, then we would be able to
4K coverage, yeah. Instead of the 180.
But Joshua doesn't want 4K coverage because
I don't mind.
it shows his wrinkles up.
I don't mind. I'd just rather have the strip lights so that we can actually see things properly.
No, I like this actually. It's what the others have. So
Yeah, we've got the setup actually in the commentary box is pretty much what you would have in a normal commentary box. Anyway, timing monitor,
taking it down all the
graphics.
time is a bit.
Oh,
10 minutes, 12 seconds left. We've just had some radio in our ears. But just coming up to the 10-minute mark of practice 3.
I forgot that they
not a
can't hear
lot
it.
of excitement.
No, not a lot. Albon off the track at 4. That lap time's been deleted already.
The Mercs are top of the tree.
Interesting though, Bottas topping all 3 sessions so far.
Gasly getting in the middle between the two Red Bulls. Leclerc in 6th at the moment. Sainz in 7th. Perez in 8th, doing well for the pink Merc. And when you look at the other pink Merc, he's in 16th. Bear what we just said in mind.
This could be
Norris
interesting.
could do better in 9th. He is struggling with downforce when he comes over the hill.
Yeah.
Right? That's where his lap times are getting going. Ocon, similar thing. Actually, they've spent most of the time following each other, haven't they?
In this session especially, yeah. Perez
We haven't mentioned much about Grosjean, who is bottom of the table.
Yeah, why is he bottom? He's done 14 laps at the moment. He's on a set of softs now, so he might improve. But the sector's time looking good.
Gunther's really great way of motivating the team, sack the drivers.
It's ridiculous. I mean, he did say that if you don't do a good enough job last year, you will be sacked. But I didn't expect them to sack both drivers because now they're going into 2021 with no banker for how the cars are going to behave.
To be honest, the bottom 3 drivers at the moment
yeah.
are really just Max thinks the hurricane which is over the Atlantic
is playing a factor.
is blowing in and affecting Portugal.
Because at the moment, he's struggling to get into the same 10th of Bottas and Hamilton.
What is the wind here today?
5.8 kilometres. It's just on the monitor. Oh.
6.8.
6.8 now behind me. So we're just hearing that radio back in our ears, and he was saying,
Which on a track that affects your downforce ain't good, because this is obviously coming at one part of the track.
And it's affecting the top speed,
If that's the top of the hill, right, then you're going to have a problem on that little mini straight.
I wish you wouldn't move that flag around, because I'd like to see how actually it is. And we've got a centre flag. Oh, wow. I haven't seen a centre flag at a track for years. I presume we're going to see a lot more next weekend as well.
I remember buying you a Senna T-shirt from Meadowhall.
I've got it somewhere
from the
still.
Formula One.
We have a Senna picture somewhere, and I was hoping to get it in the commentary box for next weekend.
The big massive one?
Yeah, I was hoping to get it in the box.
You'd have to clean it. It's on top of wardrobe.
It was cleaned, I think.
Aye, but it's been on top of wardrobe
for
ages.
Not the big one. There was a little Senna one.
Oh, yeah, there was, wasn't there? I remember that.
In a Lotus. Yeah. I want to try and get that somewhere. Oh, Leclerc's gone out of the pit lane.
Well, we just heard in our ear, something is green. And you instantly think of Captain Scarlet there.
Spectrum, yeah.
Spectrum is green.
Leclerc went out the pit lane, I think, and that's why he said, don't worry, it's all green. Vettel's out on the track now as well. All cars out on the track. Bar Sainz, Norris, Ricciardo, and Russell. That sounded a lot better before I had to pause to actually see he was in the pit lane.
Do you know the Captain Scarlet joke?
No, but
I can see you, Captain Magenta. Oh. And I can see you, Lieutenant Green. Now will you get out of my shower?
Oh, I see. I haven't heard that joke before. The new revival Captain Scarlet was on in the early 2000s. Wasn't that great?
Captain Blue decided that he was going to marry one of the angels.
Did he?
Yeah, he said it was his destiny.
Oh, for goodness sake. Stroll's just had a massive oversteer moment into turn 1 and ran over the curbs. That's his time gone. I think that's the point. Going into... And he's off the track in turn 4. Yeah. I think this is the point that we're on about. Qualifying later is going to be incredibly difficult in the opening first sector.
I don't believe this. I do believe, honestly, that although they're saying that Stroll is fit enough to drive, I don't think mentally he's there.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a while.
It must be horrible having that.
I mean, look at just going over the top of the hill there. He sort of let go of the wheel almost, and let the car drift onto the exit of the curb a lot more. If that was me, I would be off the curb. Look, he's done it again.
He was lucky that he said he only had mild symptoms.
Yeah, but even though,
but that can leave you drained and.
and his chest as well. Will Buxton, it took him 4 weeks to even get back to work here, and he's still not quite fit. I know Formula One drivers are a lot fitter.
I know from I've had a heart attack when I was 38, caused by a blockage, and I've had cancer twice.
It takes it
quite
takes
seriously,
it out,
and
we call him the cockroach. Nothing will kill him off.
Although they're trying, they're really trying.
Yes.
They're really trying.
Trying to slowly cook you at the moment.
They said the last cockroach was the best cockroach. It was by far the best, but it didn't happen, did it?
The problem is the thing is you're allergic to cheese as well. So.
Apart from anything else, he reminds me of Sleepy Joe Biden, who's going to be president very soon.
He will be president, I can tell you that as well. And did you hear what Trump said at the the last
when we're in the Oval Office and I'm about to end over to him, I'm going to really ask him to sign this bit of paper. Gives me immunity from prosecution, you know.
Yeah, I was saying, is there any way that Trump could be charged? Same as actually Boris Johnson.
It's very rare that a country actually does that, and especially as big as the United States. The nearest they came was with Richard Milhouse Nixon. There have been presidents that have been impeached, but
Trump is one.
It doesn't do well for if you impeach a president for your economy.
That's what
share prices nosedive.
That's what happened as well.
So, and even if it's an ex-president, they just tend to let them go away.
Just leave out of it. That's it. All done. I mean, just quickly, Charles Leclerc was on the radio there saying, "Why am I hearing the radio?" He got very angry, didn't he? Leclerc's striking me as getting a very angry driver in the past couple of races.
Leclerc is beginning to be a stroppy young man, which usually means I think I'm good, but I've got problems that I can't deal with.
Ferrari,
so I snap at people.
Basically, this year's Ferrari, because this year Leclerc last year won 2 races. Ferrari won 3 in a row.
The kid's got tremendous talent, right? We know he comes from a background who have been there and done this.
It's just a shame that it never works.
So, but he's had an awful lot of tragedy as well. Then he's got a year with coronavirus where people he'd known. Then he had the incident with Anton, and you know,
it's an awful situation to be.
Wouldn't you be off your head if you were him?
Yes. Yeah.
You'd have lost his dad the last year or the year before.
A couple of years ago now, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then Anthony Burch, as you said, this year he's with a car that he can't really get on with that well. I mean, he's outperforming Vettel at every qualifying.
Who was the lad that died in Formula One? It was
Bianchi in 2014.
Right. Bianchi's dad often is there to help him.
They've they're related, aren't they? Cousins.
Yeah, something cousin like that. And I know
Jill was his godfather.
Yeah. And Bianchi's dad has. Sorry, we're listening to something.
Verstappen on the radio saying that the radio being told that if the wind is too much at 1 and 2, if the wind is too much at 1 and 2, you can abort the lap. Alpha to race mechanics giving a bit of a massage and a pep talk.
Yeah, that was nice, wasn't it?
Yeah.
A nice little massage.
See, that's how somebody knows how to treat someone's back, Megan.
Oh, God.
I don't even know how.
Your sister again.
I was on my iPad looking through Spotify to see if I could find anything, and then all of a sudden, my entire back seizes
There's
up.
6 years between you. You're not twins. Stop acting like twins.
She's annoying.
So are you.
She'll be back in the commentary box next weekend anyway, which will be fun. Or as you say, tomorrow.
Yeah, what happened with Joe
Bianchi
must have
red
been...
flag.
We got a red flag, yeah. The timing thing has gone... No, we've gone red for less than 2 minutes to go.
No, look, red flag's out. Red flag's out for some reason.
Yeah, red flag is flying.
The session has been stopped, and I don't know why, with 1 minute to go, and nobody's off on the track.
The most exciting bit.
Hamilton's slow. We're listening to the radio, but we can't hear anything.
Nobody's saying anything.
I'm looking on the driver tracker. No one's going slow either. It must be debris. Has to be debris. The reason the red flags session will not be restarted.
Well, that's obviously with a minute to go. It'd be pretty useless.
But now they've lost a practice start as well.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's one of those things. It's race control.
Session will not be restarted. So the red flags come out with 30 seconds, well, with a minute to go. And look at that. It's caught Esteban Ocon at the end of the pit lane. Is this a computer glitch? Has the computer glitched to cause
the
reds?
Renault lads are running.
Yeah, well, they can go now. The session's cancelled. What has gone on here? 5 seconds left.
5 seconds left up there. What is that?
There's a bit of debris, large bit of debris, right on the racing line. And there's a long black line as well.
Yeah, that looks like it's some kind of...
It's at turn 7.
Some sump.
Oh, drain
it's a
cover.
bit of drain cover.
Drain cover loose.
Now, we had that with Jensen in Monaco. And I'm thinking it was Raikkonen.
Vettel's on the radio. And this is the last corner. So it's a drain cover at turn 13.
Needs welding back down.
And that's why and now also this might delay qualifying because now they've got to go around checking every other drain cover. We had this in Baku last year.
Yeah.
So the session's cancelled
Michael Massey
at
there.
the end. But so it's a drain cover at turn 13, but Anthony Davis has just pointed out, is this due to Carlos Sainz running wide at turn 13? We saw it a couple of laps ago.
Yeah, so but also...
Oh, hang on. Sainz on the radio, caught out with the red flag there.
Yeah, we also
had
something that had been ripped off the bottom of the car.
So Hamilton was going extremely slowly.
So have we got a damaged floor?
Well, they're not rushing around, are they?
No, Lewis's car looks
they're
fine.
checking though. They're checking the floor.
Yeah.
Bottas's looks okay as well. So which driver has run off the track? The session has now come to a close. The checker flag is out.
Could be Carlos.
Could be. I think it must be Carlos Sainz. Must be. He went off the track at 10:13. Now the drain covers come loose, but it's ripped off part of the floor, and that's going to be a big job to repair as well because drain covers it can wreck engines. It happened to George Russell last year when he ran over in Baku and it all ripped up. So the red flag is out. Nothing from Haas. It's not Haas.
Raikkonen had the similar situation,
Yes.
didn't he? Was it Hungary?
Oh, where was it? Yeah, he ran over one in Hungary, didn't he? But
yeah.
Montoya did it in Shanghai in I think 05. We had a drain cover loose.
Basically, I think it's the pressure as you run over them
Yeah.
eventually causes a crack, and then it eventually just things. But it could cause a nasty accident because it could cause a nasty puncture.
Yeah.
For either the car that runs over it is doubtful, but the one following it.
A lot of work going on at Ferrari with Sebastian Vettel. The front wing, the front end of the car's pretty much looks like it's in a test garage almost. Wonder what's happened. Well, no massive things. Okay, it is Vettel. So Sebastian Vettel comes out of the last corner. This is turn 13 to 14. Runs over and rips up the drain cover.
Yeah, there's obviously a crack in it, and the downforce has just pulled it massively up. There they are.
And if it's just one, then that might be all right. But that's an entire row they've now got to go fix. It's broken in half as well. So it is Sebastian Vettel's car. That's why the front wing's off.
These drains are about 8 inches long, and at the join bits, and it looks like they have longer middle sections, and then in between these middle sections they have these 8-inch joins, and I feel that's what's been ripped up, and it's clearly, as you saw, the downforce of the car sucked it up.
Well, that's an interesting way to end the session.
So if you continually going over these things causes cracks in some of them, and then the downforce, it's just like rips it up.
The worst thing about that is...
So we have Valtteri Bottas at top.
Yeah, Bottas top from Hamilton, Verstappen, complete the top 3. Gasly, Albon, Leclerc. Now, the Ferrari looking good going forward. Sainz, Perez, Norris, and Ocon the top 10. I'm saying some radio.
1:16.654 for Valtteri Bottas, and 200th is 200.
We're just having a lot of radio in our ears right now. I think
200th of a second
separating them. Yeah.
Separates the two Mercedes.
Then we get Vettel on 11th, Kvyat, Raikkonen, Ricciardo, Russell, Stroll, Giovinazzi, Magnussen, Latifi, and Grosjean. Of course, as I said, the bad thing about Vettel going off the track, bringing it up, everyone's lost an opportunity to do a practice start at a track where there's never been a start. So this is going to be incredibly interesting what happens next. Right, we're back for qualifying at 1:45? Yeah, 1:45 UK time. Session starts with commentary at 5 to the hour, along with the lights going green at 1 o'clock. And we'll be back for the race tomorrow at 12:30. Interesting session, that. Lot to learn ahead of
Interesting
qualifying.
shirt on Johnny.
Pink. Just completely pink. It's
more like a movie.
It's a very dark pink, isn't it?
But he has got his poppy on.
Yep, which didn't know we were having this weekend. That's embarrassing. But yeah, go for it. It's an interesting session.
Same every year, the same day every year.
Yeah, but not now. I thought we usually were a week later.
Well, probably so, but
Johnny's
got his on.
Might not be a race in a week later. Oh yeah, we've got Imola. Imola's next week.
Yeah.
Why were we Imola? Okay. Interesting session then going forward.
Simon's not got his on though,
No,
so
it's obviously just Johnny. Track limits in turn 1 and 4 is going to be an interesting point to pick up on later on, isn't it?
if you want to buy your poppies though, you can obviously there's not many people selling them
Yeah.
in the things, but you can get them online or make a donation online. So
Precisely.
please do so.
Thank God for that. So we'll be back then.
It's a good cause.
Absolutely. We'll be back for qualifying at 1:45. It's because everything's now a difference because of that time lag. We'll be back though at 1:45 for qualifying. From us all here there, thanks for joining us, and bye for now.
Bye.